Welcome back to the Hardware Unboxed News Corner. Been a few weeks since we run this segment on the channel, but we're back. We're ready to resume our normal Friday coverage of whatever news topics appear throughout the week. It does seem like we're in a bit of a lull period between the RTX launch and a few upcoming launches for the Core i9 9900K and RTX 2070, but there's still a couple of interesting things to discuss. Quick update on RTX 2080 Ti availability. As you know, Nvidia delayed the 2080 Ti launch from its original September 20th launch date to September 27th and then again to early October. Well, the good news is cards bought through Nvidia.com with a September ship date will all ship by October 5th, which is today. And then those with an October ship date will see them shipped by October 10th. So shouldn't be too long until those cards arrive. It does seem like Nvidia is struggling with 2080 Ti stock. Most board partner cards are also out of stock at major retailers, while it's relatively easy to get an RTX 2080. No surprises for why that might be. Nvidia's latest blog post says that supply chain updates have been resolved, so hopefully there's a few more 2080 Ti's in the market soon. AMD will be hosting their first ever keynote address at CES 2019 in Las Vegas, with CEO Lisa Su set to take the stage to talk about 7nm CPUs and GPUs. The keynote will be held on January 9, which is the first official day of the show, but it won't be the prime opening keynote. That slot is yet to be announced and was filled last year by Intel, and then before that Microsoft for a number of years. However, the fact that AMD is hosting a keynote at all is big news for the company, which has historically used lower key events to launch products. 2019 though is set to be a big one for AMD as they unveiled their 7nm consumer portfolio, including Zen 2 based products that are expected to form the Ryzen 3000 series, and of course Navi based GPUs. AMD have explicitly stated that the keynote will be used to discuss high performance 7nm CPUs and GPUs, so we can pretty much expect to see a launch of these products on stage at CES. Of course, that doesn't necessarily mean that the products will hit store shelves soon after. We still expect 3rd gen Ryzen to become available around the same time as Ryzen in the past few years, that's to say in March or April. New graphics cards could take a little longer though, knowing AMD's past releases where they've teased details well ahead of general availability. Still, 2019 should be very exciting for AMD, especially on the GPU side where we should hopefully see some proper competition for Nvidia's high-end products. As reported by Momomo via video cards, potential Core i9 9900K packaging has leaked through an Amazon listing. The listing shows a dodecahedron box with translucent panels, which certainly is quite strange, but more in line with what AMD are doing these days with their Threadripper packaging. You can also see specs like 8 core, 16 threads, up to 5.0 GHz clock speeds, and a $582.50 price, though who knows if that price is correct. The packaging looks a little too strange to be a fake. We did spot one glaring issue, and that's the perspective of the Core i9 logo. The upper pentagonal face isn't flat relative to the camera, yet the Core i9 logo doesn't seem to match that perspective, but we have seen a higher resolution photo of the box from a different angle, and it looks pretty real to me, so I suspect this is what we'll see on launch day. In more legitimate news, I guess, late last week, Intel did confirm they're under pressure with the capacity of their 14nm production facilities. The company is prioritizing the production of high-performance Xeon and Core processors at these facilities, while also increasing their investment in fabs by $1 billion to boost 14nm production at their various fabs around the globe. Intel also provided an update on 10nm, saying that yields are improving and they expect volume production in 2019, though who knows whether Intel is telling the truth with that one considering their track record. Microsoft and Nvidia have begun the process of readying PCs for ray tracing, so we might finally be able to test that soon and see what it's like. A couple of days ago, Microsoft began rolling out the Windows 10 October 2018 update, version 1809, which updates DirectX to support DXR or DirectX ray tracing, a key API that's needed to support ray tracing in DirectX games. We also get a few other things like better HDR management, a dark mode for Explorer, and a new version of WDDM. Nvidia also released a new driver for their GeForce graphics cards version 416.16, which brings official support for the Windows 10 October 2018 update and game-ready support for DXR. Interesting to say there's game-ready support for DXR when no games have ray tracing just yet, but whatever. There's also a few new SLI profiles for games like Battlefield 5 and Divinity Original Sin 2. We'll keep you posted on when games have been updated to include ray tracing, but now it's actually possible thanks to Microsoft's update. The Wi-Fi Alliance has renamed and simplified the names of their Wi-Fi standards. Wi-Fi 802.11ac, for example, becomes simply Wi-Fi 5, which makes it much easier to identify what is the latest standard. 802.11n becomes Wi-Fi 4, and the upcoming 802.11ax becomes Wi-Fi 6. This joins other communication protocols like Bluetooth that use simple numbered naming schemes, which are so much better for consumers than stuff like AC and AX, which make pretty much no sense if you aren't really familiar with the Wi-Fi naming schemes. There still will be different versions of Wi-Fi 5 and different peak throughputs depending on the MIMO antenna configuration, the allocated bandwidth, and so on. So not everything about a Wi-Fi implementation is made obvious through the number, but it's definitely a step in the right direction. Couple of laptop announcements to close this one out. Alienware are finally getting into the slim gaming laptop market with the M15, their thinnest machine yet. This new 15-inch machine isn't the smallest I've seen, but it's a massive step forward for the company that traditionally makes the biggest, heaviest, chunkiest laptops you can find. For hardware, we're looking at a Core i7-8750H, GTX 1060 or 1070 Max-Q, and a 1080p 144Hz display as some of the typical specs, though there are high and low end models that use different CPUs, displays, and storage configurations. The base model will be available for $1,300 and it will be available on October 25th. Microsoft also refreshed their Surface lineup with a new Surface Pro 6, Surface Laptop, and Surface Studio. The Pro 6 uses a new 8th gen CPU from Intel and comes in a new matte black color, while the Surface Laptop also receives 8th gen quad-core CPUs and the new color. The Pro 6 will set you back at least $900 and the laptop at least $1,000, with order shipping on October 16th. The Studio, well, that still costs a whopping $3,500 to start with, but it uses a faster Core i7-7820HQ processor with up to GTX 1070 graphics, with an updated and still excellent 28-inch 4500 by 3000 display with pen support. Not quite sure why they didn't use an 8th gen processor there. They're still going with the quad-core 7820HQ, but maybe there's some thermal reasons for that. That's it for this week's News Corner. Subscribe to get this segment in your inbox next Friday as well. And don't forget to hit the bell icon. Consider supporting us on Patreon to get access to our exclusive Discord chat, and I'll catch you in the next one.